Hey guys, it's Shanda. How are you? And welcome to Shanda Says. Today is Wednesday, Sex and Relationship Day. Earlier today on my Facebook page, I did a post saying that I'm going to talk about something today that I've rarely, if ever, spoke about. And I know for a fact I haven't talked about it on Shanda Says. But I will tell you that on Man and Wife, me and my husband did do an episode where he I'll share that part with you at the end of this video. But today's video, if you're a little young person on Shanda Says, I don't want you to watch this video. This is for mature audiences only. Okay, let's not get it twisted. I don't want you knowing about what I'm going to talk about today. But prior to me going into the exact topic, I'm just going to share my experience with you real quick. I came across this body function when I was about 20 years old. And when this happened to me, it took me for a loop. Yeah. I'm still speechless even thinking about it, because when it happened to me, I thought something was wrong. So I know you're wondering what I'm talking about. So let's get to it. I am talking about female ejaculation. Yes, that's the nice term. But because you are my girls and my guys, I'm just talking about squirting. Okay? And I'm talking about this because I received an email from a young lady who this happened to, and that her husband absolutely loves it when she does it. But he thinks he's not doing his thing every time they have sex. She's not squirting all over the place. Here's the thing. A lot of women have never even experienced this with their bodies. Again, I have to say I started having sex at an early age, at 15. So, when I was 20, I had that experience and it had never happened to me before. And when it happened, I honestly thought I had pee-peed on myself. But come to find out, it is not that. Okay? Now, what exactly is, for lack of a better word, squirting? First off, let me just say that most men, when this does happen, they love that. It's just a turn on. I guess it feeds their ego that they're doing their thing. They're making you just gush all over the place. But the reality is that every time you have sex or have an orgasm, you're not going to always squirt. That just doesn't happen. I mean, for some women, it does happen, but actually what actually happens to the body, okay, the skin glands that are around your urethra, this is a little biology here, or your paraurethral tubes are all involved here, which is why you produce that liquid that comes out. Now, the liquid itself is not urine. For everyone who thinks they know, it is not urine. It has proteins and other things in it, and it's very similar to the same type of ejaculate that men have. Okay? It's a very watery type of substance. It even has a different smell. Okay? Now, if you've been with your woman before or women before and they've had this experience, you know what I'm talking about. And, this subject, it was very weird for me to talk about because, who talks about squirting? But when it comes to sex and relationships, I want us to be able to talk about subjects that naturally happen. And there are many times that I'm sure you guys, we don't discuss it, okay? But you have sex and your bed is wet all over the place, okay? So definitely, if you are a woman that, is like a gusher, you want to make sure you have the proper mattress pad and a mattress cover, because you could do damage. But anyway, there are times that women are very embarrassed by this, but I don't think it's anything to be embarrassed about. I almost feel like it's something to be proud of, because there is something about a woman ejaculating, to me, that is just a complete release. And for you to have a complete release, it means that your mind is connected with your body and you're able to have this experience. Now, I want you to know, if you haven't had this experience, it's not your fault. Like I said, there are many women who have never had that's experienced, but then there are women that have it all the time. They have sex. And then there are women that only some of the time it happens. A lot of times, the squirting is very much stimulated by the G-spot, which is at the upper area of your vagina, like between the cervix and the vagina, that middle area. And if a man is going in with fingers or penis, or there are certain, you know, dildos, I'll use that word, that stimulate your G-spot. And it's a constant stimulation, and sometimes that'll get a woman into having that release. But the reality is that I don't want you guys out there, you know, the young lady that I'm addressing regarding the email. Every time you have sex or have an orgasm, you're not always going to be squirting all over the place. But the reality is, every time that you do it, let him enjoy it, let him have fun. But let your husband know that, you know, you're still doing your thing. I may not just be, you know, doing the faucet thing every time, but doesn't mean that you're not being fulfilled sexually. Also, on the other end of that, meaning that even if you're not doing it, it doesn't mean that you're not fulfilled. You're not fulfilled, meaning that as a woman, you're not being a total woman, because that's not the case. A lot of women just don't have this. Now, let's get personal here. Does this happen to your girl? It does. It does. You know, I won't say I'm Niagara Falls, but I've had a little gusher or two in my lifetime. But you know what? I'm claiming my gushing because it's part of being a woman. Is nothing ashamed about it. But what I will do, because a lot of people, again, we don't talk about this subject, and we never, you know, who talks about squirting? Come on. If I'm with my girls, maybe a bunch of us, we having drinks and we're acting a fool. And you know, when we women get together, we're always talking about what? Men and clothes and sex. That's what it is. But, you know, this is just a subject I really wanted to touch base on. I just want to get it out there, and don't be afraid to talk about it. Actually, I would love if you show this video to someone else, a friend of yours. Just get conversation talking about it, because I'm going to send you guys a link that's going to talk more about the female body and the whole female ejaculate, the quote-unquote squirting aspect of a woman's body, and just all that, because the more you're informed about sex and sexuality, I think the better your sex. When you know, again, your brain is the largest sex organ that you have. When you know a lot more, you know, become more familiar with your body, and you have more information, you're open to a whole new world of intimacy that you probably never experienced before. So, you know, again, this is this topic that I wanted to talk about. And I'm going to ask you a question. I'm hoping that many of you women are brave enough to answer me back. Have you ever squirted? And if you did, how did it make you feel? And did your man like it? So that's 3 questions. Have you ever squirted? How did it make you feel? And did your man like it? I want to know. You guys know how I am. Anyway, I love you. Until next time, I will see you on Fat Friday. I love you. Take care.